welcome back to the Over 40s Fitness Podcast. Here we are, January 2025, and I've got my guest with me today, Paul Holder. Now, I think you've figured out, if you're watching on YouTube, what these are. Paul's a skier, so Paul's my first skier to come in on the podcast. Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year, Tristan.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, okay, so now, quick fun fact. I've known Paul for best part of 10 years. Paul was once a personal training client of mine, as was his wife, and Paul came to us, I think initially, to strengthen his body for a multitude of sports, from skiing to cycling to golf, and it was a pleasure training Paul. I'm quite a good athlete, and I've played golf with Paul as well, and a very good golfer as well. It humbled me when I'm 6'4". What are you, Paul?
I'm 5'9".
5'9", 6'4", but I learned that it's not just about height and leverage in golf; it's about skill. But today's the point of today's conversation is your skiing. Yeah. So welcome to the channel, sir. All right. So talk us through. Let's talk about what we're holding up first. Tell me about the skis.
These are all mountain skis. They're generally a ski for all different conditions on the slopes.
Yeah.
So
When you say mountain skis, what do you mean?
So obviously these are generally ski skis down into backcountry piste skis.
Yeah.
All mountain skis. So these are generally a good all-round ski. They're not going to cause you too much problems on the piste when you want quick turns.
Yeah.
And then you can get off the piste when it's not been looked after.
Yeah.
It's just the flat general snow that's there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
There's enough width.
Yeah.
Some stability off the piste as well.
Is this the length of ski that you would have at your height or your skill level?
This is length for me.
What are they? 4.5 foot?
Yeah,
5
so
foot?
173s.
Right. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like it says.
Generally,
And it's made from wood.
These are a wood base,
Right.
screwed in with the bindings.
Yeah.
And then
the bindings, if you put it up here, or the camera, the bindings are what they're made from, plastic and steel or what?
yeah, plastic, steel. These ones are just a general set of bindings. They're not specifically off piste.
Yeah.
But there are settings front and back, which are your DIN settings.
Right.
That release your shoe or release your ski boot.
Gotcha.
If you take a tumble.
You fall over, yeah. Okay.
You fall over.
Yeah. All right. So now, out of ignorance, I've tried skiing before, but I didn't know anything about the skis. I thought they made of fiberglass or something, or
Some are made of carbon. These are wood.
Yeah.
Absolutely great. And on the back, basically you've got a PTEX base, a plastic base, with metal edges.
Yeah.
And these are angled for different requirements.
Gotcha.
Depends on what you want.
Yeah.
Not so much for anybody general skiing. You want to change those. But
Would you do the? Do you know when they do the cross country skiing on a level and the shooting? Would you wear these skis for that sort of thing?
Not for them.
Hence the mountain skis.
Yeah. Oh, these are mountain skis. You would use cross country skis.
Okay. Yeah. There's that much of a range then. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then things are like ice skates.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're absolutely. It's
because they're not relying on gravity.
No,
They've got
and
it
it's
up.
a transition that we're doing at the minute. We tend to take a day out each skiing trip that we go out there and do a cross country day.
You do that?
It's
so physically demanding. Wow, yeah.
It's surprising how much more difficult on the body it is compared to the standard.
Talk me through. Okay, when did you start skiing?
Started skiing in 2007.
So you've been doing 16, 17 years now, yeah? From scratch, yeah? You've
from
never
scratch,
skied before?
Never done it before. A good friend, we got talking, and his wife had said they'd come back from Canada, and we went, right, something else. We need something else. We're cycling during the summer.
And golf?
And golf. We just started golf then.
Yeah.
And we just said, right. And these guys were saying, look, why don't you try skiing?
Yeah.
And we went to Bulgaria for the first time, make it as cheap as possible.
Right, that's a cheap place to go skiing.
Yeah. Hire the skis while you're there, hire the boots. Most places do that. I've got these because we go 2 or 3 trips a year.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Gotcha.
You're hooked.
Yeah. Like a lot of other things, like golf, yeah. You started golf when?
Maybe I played as a kid.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
As a child,
yeah.
And then got back into golf maybe 2013, 14 again.
You see, you, clearly then you enjoy outdoor sports.
Yes.
Yeah, and so does your wife Gillian as well. That's good that it's healthy, you know. It's fun, it's healthy. All right, what does this set cost you back? What's the brand? This
is Atomic.
Atomic, okay. Like it says on the front there, yeah.
Yeah, these are Vantage 85. So,
brand new. What would these
brand
set
new?
back?
Probably 400 quid.
Okay, yeah.
But they'll last You can do courses. I did a course 10 years ago on ski repair, how to look after them, how to wax them, how to look after the edges. I do that in my shed at home. So I fix those. I'll do it for my friends and my brother.
You could could last you 10 years if you look after them.
Absolutely.
Can they break when you're skiing?
Yeah.
We're snapping half or whatever.
They could break, but generally you don't see that.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
Yeah.
You might break a binding. That's probably more.
Gotcha. That's the part fixed
problematic.
Right. So okay. So that's your skis. What about your? Do you literally call them ski poles or?
Yeah, the ski poles.
Yeah.
I actually have my first set of ski poles. So I bought skis when we said, right, this is going to be great. We're going to carry on doing this.
Yeah.
So my ski poles, maybe 4 years into skiing, right, let's get some skis and some poles. I've still got my poles from there.
What would they set you back a decent set?
No, you could pay ridiculous money. You could pay 100, 130 quid, but I think mine were 40 quid, and they're now a bit of a lucky charm for me.
Gotcha.
They stay with me.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose
40 quid set.
Yeah,
I mean, I've spent more than that on trekking poles. I've had trekking poles that have, and I've learned with trekking poles, the brands I go for now is things like Lecky and what have you, because the cheaper ones, they twist, they snap, they bend, and once they get a bend, or especially in the lower half of the pole, you can't, the telescopic, they don't go back in again properly. So, but I've learned with trekking poles, not ski poles, trekking poles, if you buy cheap, you buy twice. Yeah. I know it's like a phrase that people use, but it's true now. So don't, buy something decent that's going to last 4 or 5 years. All right, so next thing then, now you've got to wear, I'm guessing you've always got to wear your ski helmet or your ski?
Yeah, helmet, goggles,
gloves.
Gloves. One of the biggest things, keep your hands warm.
Yeah.
Get the best gloves you can afford.
Yeah.
Because once your hands get cold on the slopes, you're off. Ski boots as well.
Ski boots,
important because you're going to be in those boots for 6-7 hours of the day.
Crikey, yeah.
And they've got to be comfortable. They're stiff. Everybody you hear all these stories about people with ski boots that aren't comfortable.
Yeah.
And you think, well, get them fitted, get them done properly.
Yeah.
I have ski socks where there is no padding. People that you can get ski socks with padding in. Mine are without because my boots have been fitted properly.
Gotcha. And where did you get your boots fitted?
I got mine fitted actually here in the UK, down at Tallington Lakes.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, not too far from here.
No. Yeah. They've got quite a good setup down there.
Yeah.
For skiing and all their water skiing and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, that makes sense really. I mean, in the same way that you would have your, as I did at some point, but you had your golf clubs fitted to suit you, the length of them, the angle of the actual head shaft and whatnot. It makes sense, especially if if you're going to carry on doing a sport past 1 or 2 seasons, right? Did you have like official block of lessons then?
Yeah, we had lessons from day one, and for me that's one thing that I've always had lessons at golf, and when we came into skiing, it was something that we thought, right, there's too much risk here.
Yeah.
You stood at the top of a mountain and you're thinking, I need my lessons.
Yeah, gotcha.
We did lessons every time we went skiing. We did, the first time was a week. We do a week's lessons, and then individual.
Indoors or overseas?
Overseas.
Yeah.
I did all mine overseas, and then every 2 years now we tend to go back, have a private lesson.
Yeah.
Ski instructors out there, it's their job.
Yeah.
It's their day-to-day thing that they stand on.
Yeah.
So they know how to get you.
What's if you're having a skiing lesson, if you have a golf lesson, you might have a lesson on putting, chipping, short game, bunker, off the tee. So what happens in a skiing lesson if you and Gillian was to go this year and have a couple of hours with an instructor? What are you going to ask him to show you?
For me, it would be anything like you want to improve on your carving. So these are carving skis. Right. So you'll press on the ski as you're skiing along, and the ski will carve around the mountain.
Gotcha. Okay.
A bit like a golf club. As long as I present the golf club at the ball, the club has got the right angle, the right lie, and everything else. Yeah. Same with the skis. You put the right pressure and be in the right position. The ski will always try and go back up the mountain. It's on a big curve.
Right.
So you want to look at you may want to do lessons on carving or carving on a steeper slope.
Yeah.
One of the big things for us just lately is we are venturing off the piste a little bit.
Off-piste.
So you get more off-piste snow.
Is that when it's
It's
more
a
dangerous?
bit deeper. It's not so much more dangerous. It's a lot softer if you fall off sometimes.
Yeah.
But moguls, You know, you get really sometimes 3-4 foot moguls that you're going to come across.
Right.
And you look at those. We did one last year. Gillian and I were on a lift, really busy on one side of the slope.
Where was this?
In France.
Yep.
And at Les Arcs, right towards the top. More populated slope on the right, different colours. So France have a green, blue, red, and black.
That's beginner to intermediate, to advanced.
To advanced.
So a black slope is really hard.
Left side is a black slope.
Yeah.
Right side was a blue slope.
Yeah.
So a lot of people going that way around. So
Yeah.
I said to Jim, I said, look, black slope looks great. Shall we head down there? Yeah. Difference of looking at a slope on the way up the hill to standing on top of the slope and realising it's a big downhill mogul field. And you think, so normally if that's dressed, then it's a black slope. This was a black slope, still the same slope, but it had moguls, nobody had touched it.
Right.
You know, so you look at it and go, right, away we go. Technique's going to be required.
Yeah.
So it was great. We got down it, no problems.
Yeah.
Good skiing down there. But I think for the minute, that's where we would be back into an instructor.
Yeah.
Did that slope, didn't do it quite good enough. Or had a couple of turns where you thought, I didn't quite get that right. Maybe there's a new technique, different technique for me turning.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
go see the instructors.
About 4 or 5 years ago, I went to Finland, Lapland with family, and I tried skiing for the first time. And I can recall I told you about it, and out of ignorance and ego, I thought, well, I'm a good athlete. I don't need lessons, but I'll be okay because it's just fun. I fell over, I think about, at least 20 times. It must have been. I spent more time getting up and down off the snow, and I'm seeing people just go fly past me and whatnot. It was
generally children.
Yeah, well, and adults as well. What I found was the fitness was there, the strength was there. I broke into a real sweat as well. I think about -4, nothing crazy, but I remember my body was dripping with sweat inside from the physical energy and the exertion out of it, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm thinking about the day that I went, maybe twice. I actually got to a point where I could ski without falling over for like 3 minutes or something. But I tell you what, I would never do it again without lessons. No. I suppose that seems so obvious. Why would you try and do something that's a technical skill without a lesson?
Yeah, I mean, most resorts have areas where you think, I can go and just have a little bit of a practice.
Yeah.
But it's more about making sure you don't injure yourself.
Yeah.
This strapping a 173 metre plank to your foot that tends not to come off.
Yeah.
You do end up with twists and aches and you might fall over.
Yeah, but, fall over with these on as well, and then the skill of getting back up again.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it, and I thought to myself, crikey, no wonder when you hear about the people that I've trained, families that go skiing on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, this week there's 3 people that come to our centre that are going skiing this week. Val d'Isère. Yeah. So talking of Val d'Isère, what is the go-to place in Europe for someone at yours and Gillian's ski level to go to?
Well, that's one of Gillian's favourite ski resorts.
Yeah.
Up in Val d'Isère. It's just the town, the connectivity of the slope over to Tignes and the rest of it. This year we're heading out to Châtel.
Well, where's that?
Which is the French Alps again, but it's a little bit further north towards Geneva.
Right, okay.
But it's a really nice connected resort. So you'll end up with 4 different resorts, but you can ski between them all.
Yeah.
And then down into Switzerland as well.
Yeah, wow.
So,
they always look beautiful though when you see these resorts. You look at it and think, how have they made this? I was in Toulouse and then Luchon in the French Pyrenees about 4 years ago, and it was October, so it was snowy time. And I thought it was a beautiful town. The town centres are incredible to look at, but of course you're there to ski, you're there to climb, you're there to trek, and that's where I had my first lessons on snowshoeing, and I found that really challenging endurance-wise. We had 4 days in the mountains, and then we tried to trek, but it taught me something. In fact, there was a couple of skiers on my tour, on my winter skills training course that I went on. And they were fine on the snowshoes. They were fine on slopes, and they were used to being in the snow on angles. The only thing that was different for them was their ski was technically a quarter of the length. It was a snowshoe, so they found it quite easy. I found it physically demanding going up, and going across and up, and then technically hard coming down in snowshoes, because that's when you've got your full pack on your back and you can fall And again, they generally stay on, but like with anything else, they can come off. But it gave me a newfound respect for people that do winter sports, winter sports, especially something like skiing. You know,
it's the in the French Alps we're up at Val d'Isère. You can go up to 3,000 meters, just above that on the glacier.
That's high.
Yeah. When Jill and I, 2019, Christmas 19, we went out to Colorado and had 10 days out there, and the accommodation was at 3,000.
I can remember you sending me pictures of that. It looked incredible.
That's just
a
different level.
Boulder, Denver, what?
Out to Denver, up to Keystone,
right.
And then we did Vail, Breckenridge.
Yeah.
But it's just that all of a sudden, when we go up to 3,000 meters in the Alps, you're skiing down. Yes, you're skiing down, but you're coming down to a level where the oxygen's not a problem.
Yeah.
Keystone, you're starting at 3,000.
It's my height. Well, you've got high altitude cities to start
with.
Yeah,
Gillian had suffered a little bit that first week, that first few days.
Yeah.
And we said, it was probably the altitude.
Yeah.
So, when you go skiing out there, it's it's so dry.
Gotcha.
And the snow's just beautiful.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, Denver, Colorado. So I went to Japan this year, and it was only a couple of years ago when I was reading about it. It's a popular destination for skiers. Now, who thinks about going to Japan to ski?
A lot of people that enjoy the backcountry, so off the piste, off the beaten track. There's a lot of powder snow out there. So you always see the videos of Japan where people are waist deep coming downhill, and it's big, fluffy. The conditions there must create probably some of the lightest snow, so they can get off piste and drift through the snow in those kind of conditions, and less so on the actual groomed slopes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So anybody looking for
a long way to go, though, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, we looked at going. It's still a target. We'd like to go out there.
Yeah.
Australia as well.
Yeah.
Australia, Chile.
Right. Oh, Chile.
You could do, I think you could do a whole year, a tour around.
Yeah.
No, that would be.
What a hard life that would be. Yeah. It's Okay. So, what puts people off taking up skiing then?
The cold. Number one, the cold.
Yeah.
I think people experience the cold in the UK and go, "Oh no, don't want to do that. It's 0 degrees outside today."
Yeah.
And it feels cold.
Yeah.
You could be minus 20 on a slope in the Alps and go, okay, it's cold, but it's dry.
Yeah.
I'm doing exercise, I'm warm inside.
Yeah. You're eating good food throughout the day.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Cost, it is an expensive sport.
I thought that would be one of the things. Yeah. I thought that's the first thing you would say. Even if you're renting, but the expense of the travel, the hotels, so cold weather, expense of learning a ski. So how does someone learn on a budget then?
I think the same as we did. You choose a resort that's probably not so much snowshore. So Val d'Isère they call a snowshore resort. So they charge for that kind of fee because you guarantee to be able to ski. So when I went to Bulgaria, it's still a bit of the old Russian side, the old Eastern Bloc country, and it was reasonable to go there. It was cheap flight, cheap hotel.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, somebody's been in them boots for 6 weeks before you. There's some limits to push.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I think that would be my target, would be to do something like that. Even Scotland.
Yeah.
Right now, we looked. I've got the availability tomorrow. There's a ski in the UK, but unfortunately, our requirements for us to have people on the slopes and looking after that, this little toe up in North Yorkshire isn't going to be open. We were like, we could go.
Yeah.
But it's just to get some experience. Escaping site up at Castleford.
Yeah, near Leeds. Yeah, they've got one in Milton Keynes as well.
Yeah.
I know someone who actually is currently going, and she goes. I think she goes about once every 2 weeks, and she had a block of 4 or 5 lessons. And says that was the one in Castleford. And when I worked in Northampton, I used to drive past the one near in Milton Keynes, the Escape, and I thought, all right, it's not the real deal, but at least you're getting used to putting skis on and getting on.
That's right, and that's the thing.
Is it real snow in those places?
It's manufactured snow, so
okay.
It's very similar to what you would get out in a resort if they were struggling for real snow.
Where they blow it out the machines.
Blow it out the machines. And
what's it made out of then?
So the the European stuff nowadays become more environmentally friendly. So that is literally high pressure water,
Right.
but you need the low temperatures to create that. So
Yeah.
it's okay to do it in Escape. They maybe do use a chemical in Escape because it's available, it's indoor, you're not going to lose any.
Yeah.
But nowadays, generally on the mountains, they're trying to be more environmentally friendly,
Yeah.
not using chemicals, but high pressure water,
Right.
which most of the time they've got from snowfall
Yeah.
the year before. It's stored normally in lakes,
Right.
up on slopes,
Yeah.
so you've always got high pressure.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I took, when Gillian's nieces first started skiing, the age of, I mean, crikey,
Single figures.
The youngest must have been 5.
Crikey. Yeah. Yeah.
So to get somebody on skis at 5, and they went to Escape, and then we did 3 years of skiing, and then they came just from Gillian and I to Val d'Isère.
Yeah. What are they like now?
The eldest Holly, when she went off with school, she was just like, yeah, I'll show you how to put boots on to all the kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're too good to ski here, you have to go ski with others.
Yeah.
And put them in different levels. So
They've learnt at a young age when they're supple.
you
like
see
a
it
sponge.
nowadays. You see kids nowadays at the age of 2
Yeah.
with skis on out. You see the videos online.
Really. Yeah.
1, 2 snowboard skis.
Yeah.
What an opportunity that was.
And it's normal for them.
Yeah.
So by the time they won't have got into their full physical strength, for another 15 plus years. But if you've got someone who's starts skiing single figures, by the time they're mid 20s, probably early 20s to early 30s, if they're still skiing, they'll be at the best they are. Their physical strength plus the experience will be second nature to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right now. What are the downsides? We talked about the cold. Some people don't like the cold. The expense, but you mentioned about you can learn in England, learn in the UK, go to Bulgaria, somewhere like that. So you've got the weather that people don't like, the expense that goes into it. Now the next thing, is the old break a leg? Are people nervous they're going to break a leg or
I
a
think
spinal injury or something?
Yeah, I think so. And I'm not going to say that people that I know haven't had any injuries. They have. My brother broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
But there again, he probably wouldn't mind me telling everybody that he wasn't the most sensible person at that point.
What did he hit to break the collarbone?
A big bank of snow.
Oh, okay. It's that solid, yeah.
It was, I think they built one at the side.
Yeah.
He couldn't stop. Hadn't had lessons at this point.
Oh,
I had one lesson.
I know that guy.
Up the top of the hill.
Yeah.
One lesson. Couldn't stop. Hit slow. Broke his collarbone. Didn't want to tell his wife. Skied all the way down to the bottom.
Right.
With a broken collarbone. Then went into the hospital and said, I think I broke my collarbone.
And that's it for your trip?
Yeah. He was then sat inside.
Good, mate.
6 months later, he's finally fixed. And
Yeah. That's when you got your insurance as well.
Yeah. Modern skis, modern boots have changed a lot. The old break a leg.
Yeah.
But yeah, people do.
Yeah.
People do. But I think from what I've seen, generally it's a lower speed crash.
Right.
Or you're standing and just an innocuous fall over.
Yeah. Or someone
Somebody
hitting you.
catches you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before that, generally I've seen some high speed crashes.
Right. Yeah.
And they seem to pick up, get up, skis will come off because that's what they're designed to do.
Yeah.
Slow speed, you end up twisting the knee, something else.
Yeah. I had a client who I think it was, I'd say, I'm going to say it was 6 years ago, maybe less. She broke a twist fracture of a tibia. She broke her shin basically, shin bone, tibia, and I saw the x-rays as well. And she had to be helicoptered off. It was in Europe. And she's still training now, still comes now, but I think when she first came to us, a post-skiing injury, fracture, that first 2 months was really fragile because there was the nervousness around it and also the trauma of breaking your leg. And this is a woman who's a regular skier and a husband and kids and whatnot, and is back skiing again now. But at the time for her, it was the trauma of the injury and the accident and the memory of it, of going into hospital, realising you've broke your leg, you're overseas. And I'd say for a good 7-8 weeks of coming to us, it was quite a fragile appointment each time. I had to be really careful with her and whatnot. And now there she is now back playing tennis, skiing again, golfing again, weight training. So people do get back up and get back on.
Yeah, I know of 2 people. One had to have they got taken off the mountain, taken to Geneva.
Right.
Their ankle was broken.
Yeah.
It was still in the boot.
Oh.
And they left it in the boot.
Yeah.
And they by the time 2 hours later, 3 hours later, they've had the injections or whatever.
Because the ankle's swelling inside the boot.
And they've just kept it there because it's stable that way.
Yeah.
gets it, and they know what to do. They're in, it's those conditions.
Yeah.
But I've also seen somebody get off a bus in resort, fall over and break their ankle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you think,
And they're not even skiing.
no, not even skiing.
Yeah. Crikey. Yeah. It's all right. So now, what's the average age, or what age do do people stop skiing?
I don't think they do.
Okay.
If you've got the option.
Have you seen someone going past you and they're 70 years of age?
My mother-in-law took it up at 60 when she was 16. She was still skiing a couple of years ago, 3 years ago maybe.
Right. Crikey.
So
people will start skiing in their 50s or 60s,
yeah,
and still be skiing 10 years later. As long as...
Take a look at the slopes, be sensible,
Yeah.
enjoy it, stay on the lower slopes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to, go up there, come down a steeper run.
Yeah.
Enjoy the runs. You're outside.
Yeah.
You're in the beautiful scenery of the Alps or the Italian Pyrenees or in America or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Or Canada. Some stunning scenery.
What part of your body does a beginner or even an intermediate skier look to improve the fitness of? What's the most important part of the body that you work on?
Your quads, your calves.
Yeah. So your upper legs, even lower legs. Then
lower legs, calves, because you clamp into a boot.
Yeah.
And you tend to sit slightly if you're a little nervous, or even for myself, I'm going back in 3 weeks' time, 2 weeks' time. Your first few days, you're going to be not as confident, not up and pushing into the front of the boot.
Yeah.
Your calves take a lot of the strain.
Gotcha. Yeah.
First couple of days are going to be up and down stairs. Are going to be horrendous.
Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah.
The hotel's got a lift.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And then, if you're there for a week, one of the odd areas that gets you is your triceps.
Your triceps.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're
poling. Yeah,
right.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You're poling, or you're carrying these.
Yeah.
All the
on
time.
your shoulders.
Yeah,
or...
as soon as you finish, up onto your, but poling on your triceps is something else.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We did maybe 10 years ago, Julian and myself. We managed to get 3.5 weeks out there.
Mm-hmm.
2 different resorts, 3.5 weeks. And we both said, can't believe the difference in your upper body and upper shoulder area, triceps.
Yeah.
After that, we didn't do it every day, you couldn't do it every day, but we tried to maximise as much as we could.
Yeah, it would do, yeah.
And you think, wow, you can feel these triceps.
It conditions your body.
Yeah.
So ski fit, I imagine then if you're a regular skier, you actually improve your fitness even while you're out there skiing. Your cardiovascular fitness, your muscular endurance, your core stability actually improves with skiing. They say that about trekkers or climbers. You get strong and fit to become a trekker and or climber. Forget the skill, we're just talking the physiology of the body. But also you get your legs and your endurance improve whilst you're out on a hike or whilst you're out on a trek. But what I did find was though in the snow is the amount of calories you burn. I mean, I imagine that when you're out there skiing, what do you eat? 3 meals a day? 3 hot meals?
Yeah, tend to eat. We it depends who you're with.
Yeah.
Depends the group that you're with.
Yeah.
The lads that we 2 weeks time we're going out. We'll have a good breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
We probably won't stop for dinner until about 2:30, 3 o'clock.
And when are you on the piste then? What time do you get?
9 o'clock.
Okay, so 5 hours plus.
We'll have a drink.
Yeah.
We'll have a drink.
Yeah.
But I take a Camelback as well.
Right. Okay.
For during the day.
Yeah.
because you're out there, it's dry. You're working all the time.
You're dehydrated to a high level. Yeah.
So I have a 2 litre Camelback that I take, and I'll drink that during the day.
Yeah.
Have lunch at 2:33. Little bit finished towards the end of the day. Normally come off the slope about 4:30, and then have some dinner.
Do you go back to the hotel then, or?
Yeah, down to the hotel, maybe to the après bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then have dinner 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and it's normally like a meat dish or something like that.
Yeah, anything. This year we're in Italy. We're going out to Savina.
Mm-hmm.
Last year we were up on the Selleronda, and it would be. I'm unfortunately nowadays I don't tolerate wheat so well, so I tend to try and stay gluten free.
Yeah.
So try that in Italy.
Oh, okay.
In a ski resort where it's pasta, pizza.
Pasta. Yeah.
But it's great risotto.
Yeah.
Always a good thing.
Yeah.
Just get plenty of that inside you.
When you come back from skiing, let's say you go for, you're going in 3 weeks' time with your brother and some other. Does your body weight go up or down?
Tends to go down.
Okay.
It does, because it's that constant. I'm out there every day.
Yeah.
Up and down on that slope.
Yeah.
Even
burning a lot of calories.
3rd, 4th day, your legs are absolutely burning. there's no option. There's no easy way out. The lads are saying no. We're skiing all day.
Yeah, because you're there for.
Yeah, we're there for that.
Yeah.
For that reason.
You can recover when you come home.
Yeah, it's interesting. We did with Gillian last year. We were in the van in my motorhome, packed up at altitude, and I watched my heart rate over the week. That's our second week of the year.
Yeah.
Come back and watch how quickly your resting heart rate dropped 2 or 3 beats after being a week skiing.
Gotcha. Yeah, excellent.
Really quick.
So your body starts to adapt to the environment, which is the same in I imagine most sports. You know, okay, right, men or women? Okay, what's your age, Paul?
I'm 51.
All right. You take a 51-year-old man, 51-year-old woman, and they're both beginners. They both go for a lesson on the same day. Everything else is the same. They're the same height, same weight, same age. Who learns quicker?
The woman.
Okay. Skill, technique, or
physiology
what?
for one. Generally, especially on more modern skis, old skis you a little bit more closer together. Modern skis, hip width apart.
Yeah.
Female physiology allows the ladies to be stood better on skis.
Yeah, is it because of the angle of the hips? And we call it, in my line of work, we call it the Q angle. The angle of the hips, the way that the pelvic hips, they tilt at a more acute angle than a man's, and they're broader, ready for childbirth. But what that does, it puts a lot of force down the upper leg. So I wonder if there's actually an anatomical reason and some proof, some empirical proof that a woman skier, if everything else is equal, you know, a woman skier and a man skier, they start on day one, if because of how the slight change in her physiology from a man's, is she more adapt to learning quicker? Or I wonder if it's because there's a woman skier might not think I've got it, I'm action man, I'm guns blazing, and they just quietly listen.
Technique as well. Just that adaptation of technique. I think when I've skied with Gillian, we've had the same lessons, and I see her adaptation to technique is better than mine. But she probably wouldn't throw herself off the steep slope. I'm just like, well, come on, he's just told us how to do it, let's go.
Right.
And we'll adapt on the slope. Yeah. You know, we'll learn that. Whereas when I watch the turns, sometimes I think that's a great turn.
Gotcha.
You know, and she's physically in the right position down the slope. And,
more relaxed, more gentle.
But then it comes down to typical male bravado.
I got it.
We're on this, let's go.
Yeah, we've all seen James Bond or Cliffhanger or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think that'll be, that was me really. I thought, it's not that I know what to do. I didn't, but I thought I'll be fine until you find out it's not. And it's like that with a lot of sports. Okay, now you ski, you play golf, and you cycle, and I've known you to do all three, and I've seen you do all three as well. Tomorrow morning, for some reason, you can find out you can only do one now to the day you keel over. Aged 85 and plus, which one? You couldn't do the other two. You could only have one.
I'd choose skiing.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
I'd choose skiing only because of
big time golfer like you as well.
Yeah, and we play golf everywhere we go.
Yeah.
I love being stood at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Just that conditions, it's beautiful. The sun's up there.
Yeah.
We have a picture at home that we took 15 years ago. And we're at 3,300 metres up, and there's a chairlift coming out of the cloud. The cloud's there below that, and we can see what the Grand Mott, so that's over at Teen, there's a piste there. And we know underneath that situation, it's snowing, it's horrible, it's dark, it's cold.
Right.
And we're stood up on the top of this mountain, and you're just like, if there was any other place in the world you want to be, it's here.
Oh, interesting. And yet, with the skiing, by nature of it being the weather permitting, whereas golf, you can play 52 weeks a year golf. You can play in the rain if you want. So, okay, so you prefer to ski than over golf, What do you think what Gillian would say?
I think she'd stick with the skiing.
Right.
We're fortunate that we get to go.
Yeah.
And I think people miss it. People don't want to go. It's like we said, it's cold, it's expensive, you might break a leg.
Yeah.
But that feeling, and you must have seen it when you climbed the mountain.
Yeah.
Just being stood up there and getting that first feeling of the day and going, wow.
Yeah.
What a place.
I think I can't really talk for skiing because when I went to the resort, it was a resort and I was always 400 yards away from a big hotel and a cabin. only when you're trekking and climbing, you can be in bandit country as well, where you're a long way from a roof over your head, you know, and you know you are because you're on foot and you've been out, and you know that even if you know, I've worked under professionals and they'll say to us, the next shelter, if we move with speed, is 5 hours away. So there can be that kind of, that little bit of, not agoraphobia, but you know you are in bandit country. You're not 9 minutes from a hotel and a nice, you know, whereas with the skiing, even though you're at the top there, what's the furthest you would be away from a town centre or the ski village?
I don't know. Most resorts, you're never going to be more than
because you're in the resort.
9, 10 miles. If you're just doing general resort skiing, off-piste skiers and trekkers you can do that now with skiing, so you could be miles.
Yeah, gotcha.
Stuff where for me is we did what's called the Celeronda last year, so it's 21 kilometres around, different resorts and all in, but we're on one side of the resort.
Yeah.
So we get up in the morning, we ski round.
Yeah.
But the weather's changed halfway around, so you've got lifts down. You can't use the lifts, so then you end up trekking up a mountain, up and over a hill, ski down the other side.
Yeah.
You don't want to get stuck over there because it's 300-400 euros to get a taxi.
Gotcha.
Because the road is going to go 100 mile around the hill.
Yeah. Oh, so, yeah.
That's about as far as you could do. I think that most of the ski resorts are fairly close. You're never going to be too far away.
What's your favourite brand of ski wear? Let's say the actual top and bottoms, these ski pants, whatever you call them.
Let's see. Let's just trying to think what I've got. My North Face trousers are the best. My Atomic boots are wonderful.
Oh, this brand makes the ski boots as well.
Ski boots as well. I don't think I've always said, and we said this from the start, buy the right boot, buy the right skis. If you can, buy the right goggles.
Oh, even the goggles, yeah.
The goggles. So
don't want to get fogged up. They get steamed up or something.
and just visually, I can see more bumps and ruts in the snow. You know, my goggles are Oakley's prism lenses, so you can see them really well.
Gotcha. Yeah,
it's critical.
Yeah.
For when you're skiing, you know.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Sometimes a light goes.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and then you've got to trust your technique.
Yeah.
And have a good set of lenses.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, there's clearly there's a lot involved in the sport or the okay. If you could let's get away from skiing. Okay, because we're not skiing. You're not skiing 24 hours a day. And golf and get away from cycling at the moment. Let's get on to the human side of it as well. Okay. Go to. I like to ask guests who come on the channel about what their go-to. So your go-to sport now would be skiing. All right. Yeah. What's your go-to movie? What's something you put on once a year or once every other year?
I don't know, let me think. I tell you what, I'm gonna. It's old school here.
Go on. Yeah.
So I like to watch 966 Squadron.
Oh, okay. World War II.
World War II. With it's just Gillian used to know somebody that used to work with an old lady. Once got invited round to the house. There we are on the wall.
Yeah.
Her husband was part of the 966.
Yeah.
And we were like, wow.
So is it that particular or just general war movies?
Just those. And otherwise, I'm an ex-serviceman.
Yeah.
So
cool shot.
You every time it's on.
Yeah.
Even if it's halfway through, you go watch Top Gun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I saw Top Gun 2, whatever it was, 3-4 years ago. I wasn't impressed. Everyone's it's fantastic.
It's the same movie.
It was. Yeah. Just for more money spent on it and whatnot. I like Tom Cruise films. You know what I mean? But I prefer his other stuff. Okay. So you go to movie. What's your go-to meal?
It would have been in the past.
Yeah.
I'm a lover of lasagna.
Yeah.
But you could do it nowadays gluten-free. But I'm also, I travel a lot, so a good South Indian curry.
Okay. Yeah. South Indian as well. Yeah. Interesting.
And I don't mind whether it's there's no fish or vegetarian. Absolutely fine. No problem for me.
Okay. Yeah. It's because they do a lot. Is it the south of India? There are a lot of fish dishes then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nice, just the non-normal British curry.
Gotcha. So. Yeah. All right then. If your profession, you work for yourself. You're in consultancy.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about that another day. But tomorrow morning you wake up, you've got another profession, which you do, and puts food on the table. What would it be?
I'll be back out on the slopes, not as an instructor, as a piste, so guy that goes up on the slopes.
Right.
Gillian and I did a day with them up in Val d'Isere actually, and we spent a day with them going around first thing in the morning, where it snowed, taking the edges off the top of the thing. So
Oh, they look after it.
yeah, look after the mountain, make sure that the runs are safe, make sure that the
you would do that as a professional,
yeah,
would you?
and watching them guys. There was a small little avalanche, and guy there clipped on his skis. He's got a dog on his back.
Right.
Dog comes up, jumps on his back, and off he goes, because the dog's going to find somebody in the snow.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
We spent a day with them.
Yeah.
Just to do that.
Yeah. Superb. Okay. All right then. So what does this year bring then? 3 weeks from now, where's it you're going again in 3 weeks?
Sevilla, Italy.
Sevilla, Italy. Yeah. Okay. Are you going skiing again later on in the year?
Yeah, we're in March out to Châtel.
Okay.
In France. It's something that we do now.
Yeah.
We take the motorhome out there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Don't do a hotel. Stay in the motorhome.
Yes, and for those that are watching, I've actually seen Paul's motorhome, and it's a right bit of kit you've got again. So you've got some decent kit which will last a long time. You get your use out of it. So you've got an adventure when you go on your skiing trips. You and Gillian, or you and your brother and your pals.
Yeah.
It's adventure before you even get there. Yeah. What would Okay, so what has when we had COVID, 4.5 years ago, best part of 5 years ago, did that affect the skiing industry? Was there like a year after it and people still weren't going out there, or what?
Yeah. We went as the restrictions were being lifted, and it was very a strange situation where you were quite still split out, restricted on the buses. Most resorts have free buses around the towns.
Okay, yeah.
Limited on that, limited accommodation, and it has affected. But climate change affects skiing more than anything.
Oh, is that right? Okay, yeah.
We talk about, we said earlier on about artificial snow. You know, we know that it's getting warmer and warmer, so
Interesting,
more resorts are having to go higher.
Right, yeah, to keep it cool.
And even down to wax that you put on the back of your ski.
Yeah.
They're now changing because PFAs are being banned, so certain waxes are being banned now as well.
It says on here, factory recommendation, you've got all these numbers, -1, -2, +1, +2. Okay, what's that mean?
It's where the bindings sit.
Yeah, oh, gotcha, okay, yeah.
So you can move them forward and back.
Yeah.
So in a female ski, they'll be in a totally different place. There'll be different skis for females.
Right,
a little bit more flex to them maybe.
Yeah.
And the bindings will be slightly different.
Yeah. It's a nice bit of kit, you know, they look cool and all. Yeah. Is that important for your equipment to look good? I mean, it's a matter of opinion, but I mean, I like them, like the fact that it's dark and black and whatnot. You know,
it's a bit like, a bit like golf. I'm guessing cycling. You know, I've still got my bike. Everybody likes to look nice.
Yeah,
it gives you a little bit of confidence on the slopes.
Okay, gotcha.
Stood there at the top, you look down, you go right. And for me, these are patterned skis. Even when it gets down to, I'll get them on the wrong feet.
Yeah, still look good.
Yeah.
Oh, you could put them on the wrong foot?
Well, for me, just as a visual.
Yeah.
I look down. The pattern's the same side, and I go, right, I'm comfortable.
Oh, that's important.
Around the other way, you think there's something, is that gonna...
But the skis are the same shape, whether it's on left or right.
It doesn't matter.
But because you've got a visual, it's interesting. What nationality, generally over the last 70, 80 years, are the best skiers in the world?
Swiss.
The Swiss, yeah.
Swiss, French. Yeah. I've got a good friend who's up in Scotland at the minute. I do a little bit of work with him. His nephew is Daniel Yule, and he skis on the Slalom World Tour.
He's Swiss, yeah?
He's Scottish.
Oh, okay.
He registered with Switzerland as a young child. We watched him, I think he came 8th last night at Madonna. But that was lethal. It was just
world-class athletes. Yeah, world-class
How
athletes.
they do that is a
Alpine athletes,
yeah.
Excellent. All right then. Well, that's my first foray into learning more about skiing. I've learned more from, obviously you learn more about a sport actually doing it, but there's still the part, the theory, the thinking about what you're doing, where you're going to go, because what you've told me about, you plan on where to go, when to go, who to go with, everything, and of course with it. But that's interesting though, because when I asked you if you could only do one sport of the 3 that you do, I would have thought you would have said golf, because I've played golf for you. I've seen you, it's been part of your life since I've known you, and yet you chose this over golf. Is that recency bias because you're golf skiing now, or would you say golf when it comes to summer and you're playing in the sun?
Yeah, I I think just that feeling. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I've been up to St Andrews. We played at St Andrews.
Yeah.
You stand there and play golf up there.
Yeah.
But to stand at the top of a mountain when
Yeah.
it's sunny,
Wow. Yeah.
or even you know, my favourite days are the days when it's chucking it down with snow.
Right. Yeah.
Tends to be the slopes are a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
People go, no, I'm there. No, I'm here.
Yeah.
I've got the right kit. Let's enjoy the day.
Let's get it done. Yeah. Excellent. All right, Paul. Well, what we're going to do then is let's bring you back in towards the end of the year to talk about talk about cycling. Yeah, because you've still got your bike and
I
whatnot.
have. It's set up at the minute.
Yeah.
Trying to get back on that as
yeah.
well.
Excellent. All right, and what we'll do, we'll wrap the video up now. It's been a pleasure. You're the first guest of you're the second guest of 2025, and hopefully we'll get a few more this year from different sports. It keeps me interested in people's sports and fitness and health about it. And what's interesting, all the time that I've known you and Gillian, you're always doing something, you know, which I find it quite endearing that you do your sports together as well, individually but together as well. There's a lot to be learned from that, you know. If husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend are into the same sport, irrespective of what level and who's better at what or how long, but there's a bond that's created as well because you both experienced it together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, superb, sir. Oh, I've got a lot to learn from you. Well, until the next one, Paul, thanks for coming in.
Christian.
And don't break a leg in, how do you say it, in 3 weeks' time?
Sardinia,
Italy, yeah. Have a good time.
Cheers.
Eat some good food. And and here we are, 2025. That's it. My name's Tristan Lowe. The podcast is Over 40s Fitness with Tristan Lowe. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon and Apple Podcasts. This is episode 80 of the channel. Hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to like, subscribe and share. And on to the next one. Thanks for coming.
Cheers.
Cheers, Paul. Bye now.